All right, guys, I'm here in LAX, running to my gate to make my flight to DC. But I had a crazy, wild dream last night, and I just feel led to share it. I don't get tons of dreams. This one was very specific. It was very, like, I woke up really shaken. And I got up this morning at 4:30 to catch this early flight. We had to shift back our Capitol worship tonight. We're celebrating the 3-year anniversary of Let Us Worship on Capitol Hill. 3-year anniversary, Camp Allah, worship on Capitol Hill. And we're going to be actually worshiping and praying inside of the U.S. Capitol Rotunda. All right. But check this dream out. This is wild. So in the dream, this was right before I woke up at 4:30 this morning to rush here. In the dream, I was sitting in a van, and we were driving in a van, and I think it was through America. It was to the countryside somewhere. Inside of the van was Charlie Kirk, Tucker Carlson, Ben Shapiro, and one other female young reporter. I don't know who she was. I didn't recognize her. And, you know, of course, all these guys are conservative. They're just brilliant guys. They run media organizations. They're integral in American politics, all that kind of stuff. We were, in the dream, we were talking about how we couldn't believe that we lost the momentum from the election. We were lamenting at the fact that it was like, how do we win the election? We had all this momentum, we had all this prayer, we had all these people mobilized, and yet we didn't do anything with it. And we were talking about what happened. Like, how did this happen? How did we get to this place where we thought things were going to change in America, and we've seen very little stuff change, very little legislation, very little, lasting impact. And I was in the van looking at all of them, looking at Ben Shapiro, looking at Tucker, looking at Charlie, looking at this female reporter who I don't know who it was. And I was saying, guys, we have to turn the nation back to God. We have to worship. We have to pray. It's a heart change. It's a heart posture. It's not just politics. Like, people need to return back to God. We need to bring back prayer. We need to bring back worship. We need to see a lasting change. I said, we've got apathetic. We thought we could just win an election and things would change overnight, but we lost the heart in the midst of it. And I was like preaching to them out of conviction of why we haven't seen a lasting change. And then all of a sudden I woke up, and here I am catching a flight to Washington, D.C. to lead worship with members of Congress in the Capitol tonight. What's the problem in the Capitol? Legislation is stalled. There's been almost no bills passed since the election. And I am so moved. I feel like God gave me this dream because it was so specific. And another weird thing in the dream, I was wearing glasses, but the glasses had 3 frames. Like, it wasn't just 2. It was like one right here, and then one lens in the middle. It was like 3 lenses on my glasses, which is weird. I don't know what that has to do with anything. But anyway, I just wanted to share that. Can you pray for us today? We are going to be worshiping inside. Members of Congress will be there. It feels significant. We have 3 years of a presence on Capitol Hill, 3 years of worship and Bible studies and preaching and prayer walks and Jesus marches and events on the mall, and 3 years of having consistent place that burns with worship and prayer right there in the heart of Capitol Hill. And it feels like significant for this moment for us to celebrate that by worshiping inside of the Capitol tonight. So some of you guys are saying that dream is a nightmare. I don't know if it was a warning. It feels like maybe it was like a prophetic warning from the Lord, like, hey, don't get apathetic. And I think that's what happens sometimes, is we feel like we won an election and maybe let's ease up. But I kept telling those guys in the van, in the dream, I said, we can't take our foot off the gas. We can't take our foot off the gas. We got to keep going. We got to keep praying. But I was stressing to them, the solutions are not merely political. Like, it's not political strategy. It's spiritual. It's spiritual warfare. We need to worship. We need to pray. We need to mobilize the church to be unified. And so, anyway, that was my wild dream. it really, really shook me, and I think reminded me of the importance of what we're about to do. We're going to be worshiping in the U.S. Capitol tonight, and then we're actually going to be going to Mar-a-Lago and doing worship on Saturday morning in the Southern White House. So this is a very crazy trip, very special trip, and would love your guys' prayer, would love your support. I'm going to try to go live tonight from the U.S. Capitol and give you guys an update on what's going on and what we feel and what God's saying and speaking and doing. So I'm running to catch my plane. They're boarding right now. Had to wake up insane early because we had to move the worship back. We're going to do it later tonight, but Congress is going home. They're canceling their last day of voting, which is never usually a good sign. And so we're going to do it later this afternoon in the Capitol. So love you guys, and thanks for listening to me. Hey, shoot me a message or a DM or a comment below if God gives you any kind of insight into this dream and what it means. I really believe there's a lot of people he can, or tag somebody below. Maybe somebody's good at dream interpretation. But it was wild. So running to catch my plane. Bless you guys.